Are you the creator of Teamzy? And
Yes.
he's very generously offered to give us his time to show us how to use this tool. So hopefully you can come and take something away as a win today. So thanks for hopping on, everybody. Thank you, Eric, for your time.
My pleasure. I'm excited to be here. Excuse me. As Jessica said, my name is Eric Johnson, creator and CEO of Teamzy. And I'm excited to show you guys this platform just to kind of give you a little background on myself. I've been a business coach and consultant for over 20 years, helping people build relationships-based businesses. In that time of, excuse me, my throat. In that time, helping people build their businesses, also been involved in creating some cool technology to help people do that, right? And about 10 years ago, I started a little side hustle in network marketing. And it was exciting for me to see such a dynamic industry. It's not my, I traditionally help people in what we call more traditional business environments, but doing a little side hustle in direct sales network marketing, one of the first things I did was I went to a national convention, which was so exciting. How many of you have been to one of those? And it's so exciting to be around all the people. Everyone's excited. But then when I saw the training from stage, it really, really worried me. I thought, oh my gosh, nobody's talking about relationships. What they're asking people to do is going to damage their relationships. How do we get people to be consistent, actually doing some of the connecting activities that they should be doing? And so it really inspired me to create Teamzy for direct sellers. And that's kind of what happened. And the truth is that I knew, coming from working in the real estate industry and other types of industries that are heavy on available technology, I knew that if I only had maybe an hour a day to build my business on the side, how many of you, that's you, you know, I knew that I needed tools to really help me leverage that time and be efficient with it. Because otherwise, if you've only got an hour, you're going to spend 57 minutes trying to think of what you should be doing, right? And then time's up type thing. So, so I knew that if I needed it, other people might too. So as we built Teamzy and launched it, we found that people loved it, right? And it just started spreading. So just to kind of give you a little background on Teamzy, we've been around 8 years. We've helped close to 200,000 direct sellers over that time. And we've done it just through people sharing Teamzy, just like is happening today, right? Some of you don't even know why you're here. Jessica just said, show up, and somebody's going to show us something. So here we are. And, for the past 8 years, I've been doing team. Of course, I have team members who do these for me, but I still like to do the team presentations because I'd like to meet you guys and show you what we've built. But just to kind of give you an idea of results too, that our average result over the past 8 years, people who've been actively using Teamzy have averaged 21 new customers and 9 distributors added to their team over 90 days. So, and that's just been kind of the average result. People plodding along using this fairly regularly. So hopefully those will be the minimum results that you guys will expect as well as we get going. But really what I want to do is give you a quick view into this system. And what Teamzy is, it's a software. It's a website with a software platform that's going to help you organize your day. And really what it's going to do is help you know exactly who you should be connecting with each day. It'll tell you how many people to connect with based on your goal, who they are. Like, in other words, this is the specific person to reach out to. It'll help you with what to say to start conversations with people without being a cheesy salesperson. And it'll help you follow up so nobody ever falls through the cracks. And we built this platform to help you do everything in less than an hour a day. Honestly, it's going to be more like 20 minutes a day for a lot of you, right? How many of you are busy? Right? You're busy. Jessica already warned me. I've got boys running around the house. That could happen at any moment, right? Like I'm at home with my kids too. We homeschool our kids. And I work at home. So I know that the sabotage can come at any moment. What we need is to be able to do, 30 minutes of absolute productivity from time to time and keep things moving forward, right? Okay, so without further ado, let's dive in. So I'm just going to show this to you now. By the way, if anybody is curious about this, even while I'm talking about it, you can go to teamzy.com and start a free trial. Okay, it's TEAM, like team, ZY.com. And you're going to toggle, it'll say what your business is. We have over 90 custom versions. You guys are going to look for the Plexus version and start that free trial. Okay, so that'll be your action step, is to get the free trial started. You don't have to do it now, but I know some of you, how some of you are probably wired is that you're going to want it open while I'm talking, which is fine. But I'm going to share mine with you. Okay, so when you go to set up your free trial, one of the first questions it will ask you is what your income goal is. Okay, and what Teamzy does is it takes your income goal and it backward engineers that and tells you how much work you need to do for the next 12 months to hit that goal. Does this make sense? So you will 5 minutes into setting up your free trial, you will have a game plan for the year and it'll be specific. So for example, I've set my goal for 150K and it is telling me how many people I need to connect with, right? And if I make it smaller, it reduces my goal. If I make it bigger, it increases my goal. Pretty simple, right? I'm going to put it back to where I was. Okay. So you can see here, I've got 3 categories of people in my Teamzy account. I've got my prospects, my customers, and the ambassadors on my team. Okay. If you're brand new watching this presentation, you don't have ambassadors or customers yet. So you would just add all those numbers onto prospects. In this example, you'd have 19 prospects in the prospect circle. Make sense? Okay. And then over time, you'll add back the customers and ambassadors because those are the 3 groups of people we're going to intentionally build relationships with. And that's what I want you guys to understand what the system's going to help you do beyond create a predictable stream of business that you can forecast and grow with. It's going to help you intentionally build relationships with these 3 groups. All right, let's click on continue. The next step is to get some contacts in here. You can't do anything without contacts, so we want to get your contacts in. Now, a couple of things that have made this really easy. You know, if you're been doing this business for a while and you've got contacts in the back office, there's instructions here on how to get those out and put them in Teamzy so you have them here to work with. But there are a couple of really cool tools that we've built in to let you get a large amount of contacts in very quickly so that you can get started working right away. So one of them is right here where you see you can sync your Facebook friends. So if you have a Facebook account with a bunch of people connected there, you could just click that and it'll just automatically sync up all your friends. And there'll be contacts in Teamzy. Another thing that you can do, which is super fun, is if you log into Teamzy on your phone, you can sync all your phone contacts up. So between your phone contacts and your Facebook contacts, you're really off to the races with a large group of people you can start connecting with right away. And then, of course, if you want to import contacts from anything, whether it be your Gmail account to your Instagram account or whatever, there's instructions in our help center on how to get all those different lists into your Teamzy. Make sense? Okay, so your first thing here is to get some contacts in. For a lot of you, it'll just be sync up your Facebook friends, and that'll get you started. Okay. All right, so here we are on the dashboard of Teamzy, okay, and it is customized for you guys. So I'm just going to give you a super quick tour. I don't have time to do like, a full deep dive today, but I want to show you the basic workflow so you have a good feel for it, and then let you guys ask me questions. So if you look at this top part where it says today's activities, you'll see these 5 circles. Some people have told me we've gamified building this business. And that wasn't the intent to gamify it, but we did make it fun. So I guess it is like playing a game. So what we're going to do is in a daily, what we call a power hour once a day, you're going to come in and use Teamzy, and your goal is to close these circles. Okay, so let me just go through what the circles are. One is prospects. Okay, and you can see my goal is 9 prospects. That'll vary depending on what you set your income goal to. Okay, so mine's 9 because I set a goal of 150K. So prospects are, you notice the other 2 groups are ambassadors and customers. Prospects are the people who aren't customers or ambassadors. Simple, right? They're all the people we know in the world who aren't already in those categories. So those are prospects. They're just people you know, people you're acquainted with, people you're connected to. My goal is to reach out and start a conversation with 9 people. I'm just going to typically message them, right? It's the most effective way to start a conversation is messaging somebody. So I'm going to text them or send them a message through social media, wherever we're connected. And I'll show you how we do that in a second. The next circle is customers. This is anyone who's been a customer at any point. Okay, so these are your retail customers. They don't need to be active. In fact, you should keep them forever if they've ever ordered from you. Does this make sense? So your customer group, the reason why is because look, let's be honest. You know a lot of people on your prospects list. What's different between them and the people on the customer list? The people on the customer list have already actually purchased something from you. So there's an old saying, and a lot of people are attracted to Teamzy because we don't like the cheesy salesperson approach, right? We want to be real genuine. But let's talk about sales for a second. The first sale is hard, the second sale is easy. Have you guys ever heard that before? The first sale is hard, the second sale is easy. So these people have bought from you, even if they haven't ordered in 2 years, they should be on the customer list. They're at a different level of relationship than people who haven't. Does that make sense? So we're just going to think about it different when we reach out. So when I get to my customer list, I'm going to reach out and connect with 6 people on that list. I just want to connect, not trying to sell, just saying hello. Okay. And then when I'm done closing that circle, I'll get to the ambassadors. This is my team. I want to intentionally reach out and one-on-one connect with team members. Okay. If you've got 2 people on your team, you're going to be done with this quickly for the month. Right. And that's okay. As you grow, that number will grow. At some point, your team will be so big, it'll be hard to manage. You'll need Teamzy to help you. Okay. So if you have a small team, what I want to encourage you guys to do is once you've closed that circle and for the month or whatever, just do a few more on the prospects each day until that recycles. Okay. So we're going to connect with those 3 groups. And when we connect, I'm going to demonstrate this in a second. The goal is just to make somebody's day. That's it. Just make somebody's day. You're not trying to sell them, especially with prospects. You're not trying to tell them all about Plexus. It's just to make contact and make somebody's day. What happens is, first of all, it's way more fun for you. There's no rejection, right? There's no rejection. You're making people's day, but it is something that people like to respond to. They tend to respond to that. And now you've done what your goal was, which was to start a conversation with somebody. Remember, this is about building relationships. And then those conversations about Plexus will happen when appropriate. Okay, they'll happen. Okay, now the 4th circle is shares. So a share is when, I'm just going to give you our definition. You can use this however you want, but I'll tell you what we intended. A share is when you share a product solution with somebody, right? In other words, based on what you're telling me, I think this product could really help you. Or when we share the business opportunity with somebody, right? So, and usually, and often both at the same time, right? So a share is not, I do Plexus, right? That's just information. A share is not, would you like to come to my event on Friday? The share is when you actually share. So if I invite you to my event on Friday and you come, now the share happened on Friday. Does that make sense? And I know it's kind of a tight definition, but it's an important metric for us to track. Because if we're starting conversations with people all day long, which is step 1, but we're never sharing, we're not going to build our business. Does that make sense? But at the same time, sometimes we tell ourselves we're sharing when we're not, and we're disappointed in the results we get. So we want to make sure that we're getting to good shares and that we're tracking those and we're being intentional about it. The last circle is when you add new people to Teamzy. You close that circle, and I added Jessica to my Teamzy today, so I already closed that circle. So I've got 1 circle closed. Isn't that cool? Okay, so as we do our power hour, we close the circles. It gives you a little bit of excitement to know you're making progress. And here's the cool thing too, is when the circles are closed, you're done. If you close these circles in 15 minutes, go enjoy your day. And building relationships is not, it's not a thing where you're just going to go and go and go and go. Like I don't want you to message 100 people in a day. Does this make sense? It's like working out. Like you wouldn't go work out for 9 hours. You hurt yourself. If you message 100 people in a day, how in the world can you keep up with those conversations? Right? So you message 100 people today, great. And then 98 of them fall through the cracks tomorrow. So it's better to just do this 1 hour a day of work and then maintain it as we go consistently. All right. So let's demonstrate this. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit here on my screen. I want you to see this section, the power hour section. This is pretty cool. So once you get all your contacts into Teamzy, the first thing you're going to do is rank them. Now, if you notice on the power hour section, there's numbers next to each person's name. That's the rank that they have. We use a 5-star ranking system. It's the same thing you're used to doing for everything, right? 5 stars. So let me just show you how this works. When you first get all your contacts in, you're going to click right here on rank contacts. Okay. And that's going to bring all your contacts up in a list, and you can go through and rank them. They'll already be at 3 stars. That's like the default. That's because we know 80 to 90% of your relationships are probably 3-star relationships. A 3-star is like, hey, we know each other, we're acquaintances, you know, not super close, but they'll know who I am when I message them. Does that make sense? So everyone will be 3 stars. If I wanted to make Maury a 5-star, I would just click on it. It's auto-saved as I go, or I can click down. So what you're going to do when you get to this stage is you're just going to scroll the list, understand that most people will stay at 3, and look for your favorite people. And you're going to either give them a 4 or a 5, depending on your level of relationship. Does that make sense? So the 5-star people, going back to my dashboard, the 5-star people are going to come up on these lists first. And then the 4s, then the 3s, and the 2s. Okay. Now, what happens is, as I message Jessica, she's up first. I'm going to message her in a second. See, it tells me who's up next. We actually called this the who's up next list. You guys, honestly, when you're using Teams, you can't mess up. You can't mess up. So there's the who's up next list, and there's 4 lists: prospects, customers, ambassadors, and follow-ups. So we'll start with our prospects. Prospects list, who's up next? Jessica. Okay. She's there first because she's a 5-star. When I message her, which we'll do live in a second, she'll disappear off my list. My list will move up. But she'll come back because I've given her 5 stars. She'll come back to this list in 30 days automatically. I can't mess up. Like, I can't drop her through the cracks. I don't have to set a follow-up. 5-star people come back every 30 days. Okay. If she was 4 stars, she'd come back in 60 days. If she was 3 stars, it'd be 90 days. If she was 2 stars, it'd be 120 days. Are you with me? Pretty simple. If you forget, see this little question mark here? It'll explain it. Okay, it'll explain that whenever you need it. The little question marks, you click on those little question marks and they'll help you. Okay, so the beauty of this is it's going to tell me, it told me already I need to talk to 9 prospects today. Now it's going to tell you who's next. Okay, so I don't have to think about who I should message, and it's going to cycle them so they can't fall through the cracks. And now if I'm not sure what to say, Teamzy will help me with what to say. So let me show you right here where it says scripts. See, over here on the right is where I'm going to log that I sent her a message, so it's tracked as I go. So it tells me Jessica's up next. Over here, we're going to log it. Now, if I click on scripts, I have all kinds of choices of scripts to help me with this message. These are not cheesy sales scripts, though. They are relationship, conversation starters. So I'm going to message her on Facebook. Okay, great. So we're going to click on that. And I got a bunch of stuff I could pick. Okay. So I'll just pick this first one on the list. It's called Connect Number 1. Here's how it reads. It says, "Hi, Jane. Just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope your day is awesome." Okay. So we'll copy that script. Now check this out. It's pretty cool. So I'll paste that in there. I want to get the name correct. It's so exciting, though, when somebody's named Jane and you don't have to change it. I always paste it in Teamzy first so that I don't mess it up and accidentally send it, but you don't have to. You could have gone right to Facebook, and I've got Facebook open in a separate tab right here where I could just look her up and go, right? Or if you did a Facebook import, then their link will be right here under details. So check this out. We click that and it will open her Facebook page, right? Look at this. This is you, right? It's the right one. Oh, look, and see that? We're already, of course, we're already messaging. Okay, hold on a second. So I've opened up her page. Now check this out. I'm just going to right click because I copied it in Teamzy. So I'm just going to paste that in there. Okay. Except I forgot to copy it after I wrote Jessica. So this message, just stopping by to say hello, how are you? Hope your day is awesome. It's a make someone's day message. That's it. We just want to make her day. We want her to go, oh my gosh, that's so nice. Right? And respond to us. Okay. So coming back down, I'm just going to toggle back to Teamzy. And we're going to finish logging that. That was a Facebook message. Now see the blue button says log connect. When I click it, I want you to look up here at the prospect circle as I click this. So now I've got one done. and the circle's starting to fill in. Okay. So next would be Angie. So let's say I went and sent Angie the same message just to say, hey, change the name to Angie. Okay. I go send her the message. And as I log it, you'll see this, that circle continues to fill in. So my goal is to close this circle blue. Okay. I'm going to work my way down the list, just connecting to make people's day. And by the way, don't worry about responding to them if they come right back at you with a response. Finish the outgoing messages first so you don't get distracted. Okay. So let's fire them all off. So I'm going to work my way down the list. My goal is 9. So I'd message 9 people on this list. That circle will be blue. And then I go to my customers. Now, real quick with customers, Hamilton's up first. Same thing. I can go to scripts. Now, Teamzy knows I'm on customers, so some of the scripts are different, which is great, right? I love this one. Here's one. What was his name? Hamilton. Hamilton, you're doing so great. I'm proud of you. Congratulations on. Maybe he lost some weight, maybe whatever, right? Congratulations. Perfect. I know you guys have like that really great face cream, maybe had some great results there, whatever. Or I love this one. This is one of my favorite ones for a customer, which is, hi, Hamilton, just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. So there's different scripts. You can see we also have them in Spanish for you guys since you opened your Latin market. We put the Spanish ones in there too, which is great. For some of you, use those, some of you won't. So here we go. I'm just going to message all my customers, present and past, to continue staying in touch and building that relationship. So as I send these, again, now that circle is now filling. Okay, now real quick before I move on, you're going to continue down that list until you've closed that circle as well. But just really quick, I want to talk to you about why it's so incredibly powerful to stay in contact with your customers, past and present. Here's what we know. When you're in regular contact with customers, they order more. Okay, they order more. So maybe they started with one product, they'll add more products, they'll order it for more people in their family, they'll continue to add to their order. The other thing that we know, now this isn't true for every single person. Statistically, over a large group of people, this is true. They'll order more product. The second thing is they retain longer. So they order more product and they retain longer, right? So if you've got somebody on a monthly auto ship, they'll retain longer if you're in contact with them, which is good for business, for everybody. The third thing that happens is they're more likely to introduce new people to the business if you're in regular contact, right? So what we want these customers doing is we want them to become ambassadors. We want them to introduce friends and family to us, right? So the customers become the real gold mine in this business, because as you get a customer, now you've got somebody who will add to their order. They'll introduce people to your business. The customer list is really where we grow the business the most. Does this make sense? So we want to make sure we're connecting with the customer. And the other piece, which I didn't say, which hopefully is self-evident, is being in regular contact with your customers is good service, right? It's leading with integrity, which we all want to do. So once you've completed your customer list for today and you've closed the circle, then you'll go to your ambassador list. It'll tee up people on your team that you're going to message, checking in. How are you? What's going on with you? This is an important thing too. I have been blessed to have been invited to many national conventions, right? That's one of the blessings of Teamzy is that we get these great invitations. Hey, we want you to come. I have not seen ever a training on retaining your team members. I've seen trainings on how to recruit. I've seen trainings on how to sell. I've seen trainings on our new great products, but I've never seen anyone say, how do you keep the people you've already recruited? So I will tell you guys, there's been a million books written on studying kind of like what motivates people in the workplace, things like that. Of course, there's one book that matters most, right? Which is the Holy Scriptures. They all agree. What is it that connects people to a mission? What is it that helps people keep working? What is it that helps people persevere? It's the relationship. Okay, it's connection. It's not money. People really aren't money motivated. I mean, everybody wants to feel secure, and money in many ways is what we use for that. But people will stick with the business because they want to be part of the team. They want to be connected to you. So you guys, those of you guys who are building teams now, I'm just here to tell you, I've talked to a lot of top leaders who do a lot of things well. they have, Zoom calls, they have, Facebook groups, chats, whatever, text chats, whatever they do to stay in touch with people. But it's the one-on-one investment that really connects people to you. Does this make sense? So here's the good news. Teamzy makes this easy. Somebody comes up, you send them a message every once in a while, but nobody falls through the cracks this way. You're present for them. Make sense? So your power hour in Teamzy, which is really for many of you going to be like 30 minutes, is prospects, customers, ambassadors. Whoever's up next, message them. Okay. Now with your ambassadors, a lot of times the whole team will be using Teamzy. So it's like, hey, Jessica, you're number one on my Teamzy today. How's it going? And you guys will have a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek moment. But the point that is given and received is that I'm intentionally focusing on my relationship with you. So you're in my account. Does that make sense? So maybe let's say you're new and you're not super quick at this. First half of your power hour is these messages: prospects, customers, ambassadors. Okay. Outgoing messages. They're just fired off. Great. Now the next list will be follow-ups. Okay. So if I go to my follow-ups, you can see none are there automatically. You have to put people on the follow-ups list. Now, let me just give you an example of how this would work. For any of you guys who have had any sort of a sales background, you've heard the term pipeline, right? The pipeline are the people, I don't even know where that term comes from, but they're the people that are interested in the business, interested in the products that you are now talking to try to like suss out that interest and help them in some way. That's different than these other lists: prospects, customers, ambassadors, where you're reaching out just to connect and deepen the relationship. Does this make sense? So let me give you an example. I messaged Jessica, hey, how are you? Hope you're having a great day. She's like, oh my gosh, great to hear from you, Eric. Thank you. That was so nice of you to reach out. She thinks the conversation's over. How many of you guys have done that? You're like, oh, this started out great, but now what do I say? And it can be, it's okay. But usually I would just try to, engage people a little bit and say, we're doing great. What have you guys been doing? It's been a long time since we talked. Send me an update. What have you been up to? Right. And that little something, a question like that goes a long way to getting people to open up. Send me an update. What have you been up to? Send me an update. So she gives me a little update on what's going on with her. Great. Now we've got all kinds of stuff to chit chat about, right? So as we're having these conversations via message, it goes back and forth with people. Sometimes they will fizzle out. They'll be friendly and then they'll fizzle out. I want you to know that's okay. Because she's in my Teamzy, if that conversation fizzles out and she cycles back in, let's say, 2 months, and I message her again, each time that she comes up, we'll have a little bit more conversation. Here's what will happen, though. Even if that conversation fizzles out, because nobody messages each other that often and just talks, guarantee you she'll stalk all my social media and see what I'm up to. Okay. So the next time we chat, she's going to be really up on everything that's going on social media, and we'll have a deeper chat. It just kind of happens that way every time. Okay. But what sometimes happens is that chat goes great and the conversation will move towards plexus quicker than you anticipate. We're having a great conversation. There's some interest. Okay. So, and if you guys want more training on that, you should go to my Teamzy Help Center. I have a whole bunch of videos where I go a little more in depth into how some of those conversations could go to bring that business in. I even have a 7-part training program on it. It's funny. I'm looking at it on the dashboard. It's on a special right now called The Art of Creating Conversations That Convert. So if you guys are interested in more training on that, you can go to that, check it out. But let me just give you the example. So she and I are chit-chatting via message. She's really interested in learning some more. So maybe I set up an appointment with her. I would probably do Zoom, since we're so far away. I'm in California and you're in Illinois, right? Yeah. Yes, we're halfway across the country from each other. So maybe do a Zoom. And let me just show you how I would log that all in Teamzy. So she's not on my dashboard anymore. So I'm going to have to look her up. Okay. So that brings me, when I look her up, it brings me to her record where I'll see all the history of everything we've done together. Okay. But I can also log anything here. So if I ran into you at the grocery store, you're not on my dashboard, I could still look you up and log that we had a great conversation and have it in my history. Does that make sense? So I'm going to click on connect, and let's say it was a Zoom call. So that would be video chat. And then I would put my notes from our Zoom right here. And then I would log it as a share because I'm on that Zoom where she wanted more info. I'm actually sharing the business op with her and some products. So I would click on share. Okay. So I have now, I could take it off connect and put it on, let's say it was a product share. Okay, great. As soon as I change that to a product share, it immediately puts her on that follow-ups list. You see that little yellow calendar right there that just jumped? So it's set for 2 days. You can change it to any date you want, though. So I'm going to actually change it to tomorrow. I mean, if she might say, hey, can you follow up on Friday? That's payday. Okay, great. So I would put it on for Friday. Does that make sense? But on a normal situation, I'd follow up tomorrow and I would tell her, hey, this has been a great chat. You have all the instructions. Go get yourself signed up. I'll follow up tomorrow, see what questions you have, right? So as I log this, you can see right in her record, it shows that we had a video chat and I shared the products, and I'll be able to see some of my notes right there. And then I've scheduled a follow-up. Okay, if I go to the dashboard and I click on follow-ups, there she is, due tomorrow. I don't know if you can see, yellow means tomorrow. Green means don't worry about it. It's at least 2 days away. And red means it's due. Okay. Tomorrow it'll be red, and right above follow-ups will be a 1, like you get on your phone when you have a text or something. There'll be a notification saying there's a follow-up due. Okay. Does this make sense? So now I've moved her from my prospects list to my follow-ups list because I've now had a share with her. Now I need a follow-up. Now this is where the business happens. The fortunes in the follow-up. You guys have heard that. Fortunes in the follow-up. I have rarely met anybody in this business who follows up well, unless they're in our Teamzy family, because we just make it really easy. Most people who follow up well, in my air quotes, it's like 3 to 4 follow-ups. But here, what I want you guys to know is that 80% of sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Okay. So how do you follow up 10 times without being annoying? Anyone wonder that? There is a way to do it. There is an art to it. Okay. And yeah, I guess we have time. I'll kind of tell you as we go. There's really 2 principles that you need to obey to not be annoying when you follow up. Okay. Well, there's 2 principles, but maybe there's one thing that I think is obvious that isn't. So let me state the obvious. The first is that you got to be following up on something. A lot of people in our business follow up, but they're not following up on anything. They're just, does this make sense? Like I sent a message to Jessica, hey, I hope you're having a great day. And if she doesn't respond to that, there's nothing to follow up on. Am I going to message her on next week and say, did you get my hello? Why haven't you responded to my hello yet? Hey, I'm just checking in again because you still haven't responded to my hello. That's weird. People do that all the time in our business. Have you guys seen that? Maybe some trainers have told you to do that. What are you following up on? You said hello, they didn't respond. So in this situation, you'll let them cycle in Teamzy for a month or 2 whenever they come up, and then say hello again. But there's nothing to follow up on just hello. Now, in our example with Jessica that I just went through, we had a Zoom. I shared the business. I showed her some products. She's interested. Now I'm following up professionally. Does this make sense? So the first piece is I'm following up for a reason. She showed genuine interest. So how do we do this? When I come to do a follow-up with her, I'm going to go to my scripts, and I've made this very easy for you guys. I put all my follow-ups in here. So they're called follow-up. Okay. And they're labeled in order, number 1, all the way through to number 10. Okay. So all 10 follow-up scripts are in here. You can just use them. Here's the first script. It says, hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? Now, why does this script work so well? Because it follows the 2 principles of not being annoying. The first principle is when you send a follow-up, you don't ask them to do anything. No homework. Okay? As opposed to, Jessica, I see you abandoned your cart without closing it out. can you please pay the money already? I need to get my $26 commission, right? No, I'm not asking anything of her. Just, hey, I'm just checking in like I promised I would. What questions you have for me? It's all about her. It's about serving her. Does this make sense? The other thing, the other principle, if you don't want to be annoying on follow-ups, it has to be short. It has to be typed out. Okay. Why is that? She's already warned me she's got boys running around and can be interrupted at any moment, right? The fact that she's still here 38 minutes in is because she probably laid down the law and said, boys, let me do your best to let me have this call, right? I know what it's like. So here's what happens. I message her some long-winded speech, and she is trying to read it while someone's tugging on her leg. She's doing 3 other things. And she knows that there's no way, even if she reads it right now, that she can respond right now. But she is curious. She wants to see the message, but she's reluctant to open it because she knows it's going to tell you she opened it. Does it make sense? So it puts, whether or not she's legitimately annoyed by it, it's definitely not a good feeling. She doesn't want to let you down. She doesn't want to let the kids down. She wants to read the message. She can't have it all. It's just causing an uncomfortable feeling. Does this make sense? But if I keep the message short enough, she can see the whole thing on the lock screen of her phone. She knows exactly what I'm saying, right? She doesn't feel bad. And that's where we want them. We want it all positive. Like when they get your message, everything associated with it is positive. Oh, that's so good. Oh, he's good. He's so good. He's following up with me, right? So short and sweet. A lot of people like to do voice messages. Great. Sing people happy birthday. Tell them you love them on voice message. Don't use a voice message for follow-ups. The same reason. I can't listen to this right now. My kids are making so much noise. I can't do it till later. I might forget, right? I'm irritated though, because I don't know what you're saying. Whereas if it was a short, quick voice message, I could just scan it. Okay. All right. So look, enough training on that. Here we go. We're going to log this. Now watch what happens when I log this follow-up with Jessica. Oh, actually, let me remind you, we've got to send the message. So we're going to toggle over here. I think this is her right here. Yep. Okay, wait, I got to go a little farther up here off of my screen. There it is. Paste that in there. So we're sending her the follow-up. Okay, she's already responding to my messages. She's just really interested. This is great. All right, so now when I've sent it, now when I log this, watch what happens. It's going to ask me, did this complete the scheduled follow-up? Leave that check because, yeah, we're pretending it's tomorrow, not our follow-up. But click on add another follow-up. I'm going to assume she's not going to respond. Okay, and I'm going to schedule the next one. So let's say I schedule it for Monday. Great, I can leave myself a note. FU2. That means follow-up number 2, just to clarify for any of you. Okay, follow-up number 2. Some of you are like, oh my gosh, who did she bring in here? No, follow-up number 2, that's my shorthand. Okay, so when I complete this now, I've now got the follow-up done. Okay, now she's due again on Monday. See that? And there's a note. We're going to send follow-up number 2. Okay, you guys can laugh about FU2. It'll be FU3 next. It'll be big well. But see, look, when I go to my scripts, now I don't have to think about it. I can just go down to follow-up number 2. I grab it. Okay, I grab that script, which reads, hi, Jessica, just making sure you got my message and checking to see if you have any questions. Okay, and when I send that one, I'm going to set another one, let's say for next week. Great. And then I'll leave myself a note, which will be FU3. Now, I mean, if you have one person, you might not need the notes. But when you are doing Teamzy consistently, you might have 15 people on your follow-ups. So what you're going to do is when they come up, you're going to send them the next message. Now, you guys, this works so great because a lot of times we get so emotionally invested in whether or not somebody's answering the follow-up or not. So let me just tell you guys, most people won't respond. Now, these are people who are interested, like they really want to, Eric, I really want to do this. Those people will still, most of them will not respond to your first 6 follow-ups, like nothing but crickets. Has that happened to you guys before? And it's like, what's wrong with them? Nothing's wrong with them. I want you to know this is normal. Okay, their life is happening. They have good intentions. It's just happening to them, right? And so what we do with our follow-ups is we just stay present. We just stay present with them. We're here with them. Okay. And if we know that in advance, it doesn't become emotional. It's like, boom, I'm going through the process. I'm starting conversations with people. We're having great conversations. I'm sharing. I'm following up, following up, following up, following up. Okay, great. I'm going to follow up number 6. Great. I'm going to send follow up number 6, schedule follow up number 7. Who's next on my list? Okay. And then what'll happen is you'll see this between 6 and 7 is kind of like the magic where people go, I'm so sorry I haven't responded to you. Thanks for staying in touch. Really appreciate it. And so it's just like that breakthrough happens time and time and time again. It's amazing. So I want you guys to know, I know, just from a quick Facebook stalking of Jessica, I know that she's somebody who gardens and plants things, right? And grows food. Like, so if you guys have ever, any of you guys who have gardened, and I have a little garden too. I try to grow as much food as I can here for my kids, just for fun. When you go to plant a seed, you typically will know. If you don't know, you'll want to know, how long does this seed take to germinate, right? Some seeds germinate in a few days. It's so gratifying. But other seeds take weeks, if not months, to germinate. Does that make sense? So when you plant a seed, let's say a seed takes 6 weeks to germinate. When you plant a seed that takes 6 weeks to germinate, on day 3, are you panicking that it's not working? No, your goal is to keep it moist, right? Keep it from freezing or whatever you need to do, and wait 6 weeks. But because you know it takes 6 weeks, it takes the panic out. So when I'm sitting here talking to you guys about building your business, understanding that for most people, it takes 6 follow-ups before they respond. It takes 10 follow-ups before they purchase. Here's the system to keep track of it. It takes the emotional worry out and allows you to bless more people. Does that make sense? And so the Teamzy system is so simple. You get your contacts in there, you set your goal. Here's who you need to reach out to. Here's what you're going to say. Start those conversations with people, create those opportunities to share, follow up, follow up, follow up. And every single month, you're going to see people on that follow-ups list who are joining your team, who are coming in as customers, who are introducing people to your business. There's no way for me to tell you, is Susan going to be a 2-week person or a 7-month person? I don't know. Just put them in the process and keep nurturing. Does that make sense? And what you'll find is you'll get a consistent result. You'll get to do it without being cheesy. You get to do it while being authentic, and you won't have to face constant rejection. Can I get an amen on that one? Does that make sense? Okay. I could show you guys more, but I know I'm at my time that I told you guys it would be. So let's just take a couple minutes and do Q&A. If you have questions, I want you guys to feel free to unmute your microphones and ask questions. Let me just say this, Teamzy.com. Go to Teamzy.com. There's a 14-day free trial, no strings attached. You can go set up your free trial at Teamzy.com and get started playing with it right away. Okay, now after the 14 days are up, that's free. If you choose to continue on, we have a special discount for Plexus. It's a third off the regular price. Okay. So it's usually $30 a month for full access to your Teamzy, to plan your whole business, less than $1 a day. But for Plexus, it's a third off. So it's $19.95 a month. Okay. So if we help you get one customer, you're good. Does that make sense? So it's paid for. Plus, you can deduct off your taxes, all that good stuff. It's even less if you want to go 12 months at a time, like bulk discount it, you can save even more. So it's very affordable, but I highly recommend everybody get on there at least and get your free trial started. Okay, enough talking. Who's got questions?
They'll have to unmute themselves, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got one coming in on chat. Can this be used for more than one business? Yeah, absolutely. We have lots of people who do use it for multiples. What you can do is we have a really simple tagging system, so you can tag people. This is for Plexus, this is for whatever. And you can also put it in your notes, like talk to them about Plex. Sometimes the same people will be prospects in both businesses, right? So in your notes, you can say, hey, we talked to Plexus this time. But that's the easiest thing, is just use tags to differentiate. know if I don't get a lot of questions, I must have done something well. Okay. All
I
right.
don't have any questions. If anybody else has questions, we can always chat together afterwards.
Yep, you can message to me. So just want to encourage you guys. Oh, Janelle, yep. How do you sign up? Go to teamzy.com. Teamzy.com. Here, I'll throw it in the chat. When you get there, when you start signing up for your free trial, it'll ask you your business and you can toggle down. It's alphabetical. Make sure you get the Plexus version. Okay, so you have the customized version for you guys, and you're good to go. Yep. If you have questions, can you message somebody? Yeah, absolutely. When you're inside Teamzy, check this out, you guys. Let me just go in here real quick. So when you're inside Teamzy, all the time you're going to see this help button floating around. Okay, if you click that, you can send us a message. Somebody will respond to you really quickly. Often it will say chat. So if my team's logged in for live chat, they're there. So you can get, if you see chat, you can get it within 30 seconds. You can get your questions answered. We also have the help center. So this help center right here, I'll click on it. You're going to find tons of videos, FAQs, just about everything you can imagine is here in the help center. Another thing that we offer is one-on-one support that's free. So if you click on one-on-one support, you can schedule a Zoom call with us. Okay. So either a 15-minute, 30-minute Zoom, you can get on with one of our Teamzy specialists. They'll walk you through anything. They'll help you set it up, whatever you need. So, and that is something that I don't think anybody does. We do it for free. We have real people, by the way, that work, real humans. I know AI is the hot thing, but for companies, a lot of times AI is just a lazy way to not have people. But I think I like to have people. So we have real people. I call it HI, human intelligence, to help you guys. So don't be worried. If you feel like the technical parts can be a little intimidating, that's what our team is here to do, is to help you set it up and be there through all that. Can I use a template for more than one business in one account? Do you have a ACN template? I'm not really sure what that is. Send me a little more information on ACN template so I know what you're talking about. Oh, ACN is another network marketing company. Okay, got you. Yeah, so there's so the verbiage, yeah, no worries. I get it now. I just wasn't thinking that way. So you're going to be in the Plexus account, you're going to have Plexus verbiage. But one of the things you can do with scripts is you can save your own scripts. So you can put some of your own scripts in there, saved. There's a bunch of features I didn't go through. One of them is that you can sync your Gmail account with Teamzy. So if you have emails that you send, like follow-ups to a conversation, you can have all those saved as scripts in Teamzy, and then you can just go send script as email, and it immediately creates a Gmail email with all the text. It's pretty cool. So yeah, Jessica's added her scripts too. So you're going to have, from me, you're going to get conversation starters, follow-ups. The specific scripts that you're going to use for your business are ones you'll probably add, right? And put in there. I mean, I have a couple in there that ask for recommendations, or if you know anybody who's interested in Plexus, that kind of thing. But most of the scripts that are going to be specific to your business, you guys will add, or you'll get from your team or your upline, you can just put in there. Okay, good. Those are good questions. I love it. Okay, so if you want a little deeper demo, there's a bunch of videos there in our help center. You can get in and learn some more. But really what I want you guys to know is it's really easy to use. The first thing to do is to get in and start connecting, get your relationships in there so that they are they have an intentional system and not just falling through the cracks, right? Possibly. And then as you go, you can learn more, and you can unlock some of the other features in there. Just so you guys know too, we lock those. We don't raise prices on our customers, so you can get in there and lock in rates, which is great. And know that you have that. You can keep going with us at that rate. So appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys today. Thank you so much. Hope to see you all in our Teamzy family. Thank you, Jessica, for setting this up. God bless you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much, Eric.